Welcome to the Stop Over Drinking and Start Living podcast, where high-achieving, goal-oriented rebel women come to learn how to live a vibrant and fulfilling life without requiring alcohol to get through it. No labels, no judgments, no saying you'll never drink again. Just real proven methods to help you stop rebelling against yourself with alcohol so you can drink less and do more. I'm your host, Angela Mascenik. Let's dig in. Welcome to episode 354. Don't just hope it happens, make it happen. Well, hello. Welcome back to the podcast. We are almost at the end of October. Make it stop. My leaves are just now starting to change. Like they're just now starting to get a little bit orange on their tips in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. And I feel like it's kind of a late color change this year, don't you? But I'm enjoying it, even though it was 47 degrees this morning when I was walking Jackie Poo. It's time to break out his little winter jacket and mine. But I love a seasonal change, as you know, if you've been listening and following along. And today I want to talk about how change happens, okay? Especially around your relationship with alcohol. And this idea that we often hear of maybe you know of somebody, you've heard something somewhere or read something that people just one day decide they're going to quit drinking or that they're going to change how much they drink. And then they just do it, right? Like they just don't look back. They're just one decision and then that's it. And yes, that can happen. And if that hasn't happened for you yet, it's probably not going to happen. It's not impossible. But if you've been trying to work on this and you've been trying to make some changes, you really wish things would happen, it's probably not going to be some big aha moment for you that is just, oh, I just quit drinking. And then you're not going to have to work through anything. It's not going to be hard. None of that. That's just not really realistic, especially if you've been in this cycle of over drinking and, maybe you were able to cut back a little bit or something happens and you have to take a break and then it starts creeping back in. So you just have to make it happen, right? Instead of it just hoping it will happen or just like, I really want to cut back. If you have a lot of those thoughts, it's really an illusion that we might tell ourselves or I'll do this one day or it'll just happen when I'm ready. Those are illusions. If you're ready to stop over drinking, you're listening to this podcast, right? So like you're already you're thinking about it. That means you're ready. If you wake up in the morning saying, I wish I didn't do this. I wish I could stop this. That means you're ready. It's just going to take some intentionality, right? And I also don't want to diminish. Some people are able to just do that. They are few and far between. Usually the people that come to me or listen to this podcast, that has not happened for them yet. And that hasn't been the experience that I've worked with people on or my own personal experience. Those are very rare incidences when somebody has a crystal clear sort of internal shift and they just kind of snap their fingers. They have made a decision and that's a done deal. But for the majority of women who have been stuck in this cycle of overdrinking, or just all people trying to cut back, doing well for a while, then falling back into their old patterns. That's usually not how it works. So if you are caught up in that loop, hoping it'll just click one day, or like one day you're just going to wake up and be done with it. I love this. It's like hoping that your taxes file themselves. Not going to happen, right? It sounds nice, but that's not really how real change happens. And actually, the process of changing your relationship with alcohol needs to happen so it does stay permanent. That's the beautiful part of this. Is like the process in which you get to these decisions about what is best for you with alcohol. That is how the real change happens. So this is usually what the cycle looks like. You wake up feeling disappointed. You might even be ashamed. You swear that today is going to be different. You do great for a few days, usually because you feel so shitty that the idea of drinking, right, isn't very appealing to you. So maybe that lasts a few days. Maybe the weekend starts coming or something stressful happens or you even have a good day, right? Or it's just the end of the week, just the weekend. And you think, oh, I deserve a glass. Right. And then the next morning, you're back in the same conversation with yourself. you've got enough awareness to know what is happening, right? You see this cycle happening, but you're not yet intentionally changing it. You're just keeping this idea sort of like as an idea or a wish in your head. And that's going to be the cycle. And then it's going to repeat until you consciously decide to interrupt it and actually start working on the process of changing your relationship with alcohol intentionally, right? So I want to talk about like accidental versus intentional change. So accident or passive change, you could also call it, is when you stop or cut back naturally. Okay, so maybe you get sick. Maybe you went on a vacation. Maybe you're around certain people that don't drink. Maybe you started a new workout routine. Maybe you're starting a new diet, something like that, right? And you're feeling proud in the moment, but that pride is fragile. And it can be easily undone because it's not built on awareness or tools. It's just a temporary shift in circumstances, right? I'm sure you all can recognize times when that is true. Like you let outside circumstances decide if you're not drinking. So maybe like people are on antibiotics and they have a hard, I don't drink when I'm on antibiotics, or I'm having a colonoscopy, or I've got to go in for surgery or whatever, right? Or I got to take care of my grandkids. You're letting external things dictate whether you drink or not. That is not built on a foundation of change. That is not you being intentionally changing you and your relationship and how you use alcohol, right? You're letting those external factors dictate whether you drink or not. That's accidental or passive change. Intentional change is you decide to change, right? You make a plan. You're reflecting on your urges and your feelings and your thoughts, and you know why you're drinking or why you're not drinking. And when that discomfort shows up, whether you're bored or you're wanting to amplify celebratory feelings, or you deserve a reward, or whatever it is, or you're dealing with stress, and discomfort always shows up for us. Intentional is when you stay connected to yourself and the purpose that you're working on, and that is changing your relationship with alcohol. Intentional change means you're not waiting for something external, like the things that we just talked about, to change your drinking. You're choosing to do the internal work it requires to make permanent behavioral changes with your relationship to alcohol, which really means your relationship to yourself. Because the reason why we're over drinking is because we're reacting to our feelings, right? And that's internal. And so when you change your relationship with alcohol, you're changing that relationship with yourself and how you show up for yourself when you have certain feelings or get activated or triggered by certain things, right? And it's not all bad feelings. A lot of times we drink because it's sunny outside and that feels happy, right? So don't immediately latch on to, only drinking around negativity. But the reason why intentionality matters, that means that you are taking responsibility for your results, right? It doesn't mean, oh, I've been giving away my power to external things. It's not an opportunity to be hard on yourself, but it's just, I am choosing now to be intentional instead of letting external circumstances dictate what I do. Does that make sense? It's intentionally deciding I am in the driver's seat here. I am deciding to do something about this, right? And when you approach change intentionally, you stop outsourcing your progress to luck or willpower or external things or other people, right? That's advocating your power. We want to bring that power back to us with intentionality. And when you do that, you're building awareness, your skill set around handling those feelings, learning how to manage your mind, learning how to interrupt your automatic behaviors, and learning about your own self. And you build self-trust along that process, right? You learn those feelings are so important. You learn how to be with them, how to tap into the messages that they have for you, how to be uncomfortable, and how to show up for yourself even when it would be easier just to throw in the towel and say, screw it, right? That's actually what creates freedom. And that's how you stop repeating the same pattern over and over and over again. So if you're listening right now and you're like, yep, I'm in that cycle, I just want to invite you to not waiting for the right time. If you have a thought that you don't want the current relationship that you have with alcohol, I want to suggest that you don't wait for it to magically happen. For something, some some natural shift in your mindset or circumstances that's going to make it easier for you to stop or to cut back. Okay, so you want to decide today that you're going to make it happen on purpose. And you don't need to be perfect, right? This is not about being perfect. This is about being curious and consistent and willing to get a little bit uncomfortable. Remember, being intentional takes effort, right? And it's the most loving thing that you can do for yourself because you're paying attention to what it is that you actually want and what you need, right? It's like how you stop hoping for a better life and you start creating one. So I was sharing this inside my Live AF membership this morning for Sober October, and I watched Bridesmaids with my kid over the weekend and my mom. And there's a scene at the end of the movie where she is sort of tackling this. There's two actresses. I can't remember their names right now, but they were, one of them was kind of like tackling the other one and like tickling her and kind of slapping her in the face in like a very comedical way. And she's like, listen, and the girl that she was kind of like beating up a little bit, she was like a hot mess express, and her life was falling apart. And this other girl was like, you need to like step up and fight for yourself, blah, 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 blah. And she said, you are the problem and you are also the solution. And I just love that, right? So yes, things have happened to us in the past, or terrible things might have happened that made you want to drink to escape, and it's now your responsibility to fix it, right? So you are the problem if you keep staying stuck in this cycle, and you're the solution to your problem. It's perfect because there's not a better solution than you, because you ultimately know how to set up your life in a way that works better for you and what you need to do to, make that intentional change towards changing your relationship with alcohol. Okay. So just something to consider. If you're wishing and hoping that someday it'll just click, it's probably not going to happen. And so you want to stop waiting, because the more you wait to change this, the worse it's just going to get. Over time, if you can zoom out and look at your relationship with alcohol, and if you haven't made the strides that you wanted to, right, is probably getting worse. And if that is you, you need professional support. I say anything over a year. If you've been trying to do it for on your own for anything longer than a year, it's time to reach out and get professional support, either by me, other group options, private options, therapy, spiritual advisor, something where you are sharing that you want to intentionally change your relationship with alcohol. And you start to work on that, because it just doesn't get better. And again, it can happen, and you should let that go, because that thought that it's just going to somehow magically happen for you when you're ready is holding you back from making those changes now. You can make those changes now, right? A lot of times your brain just gets scared and offers you that just to kind of kick it down the road, kick the can, right? And you got to be like, no, I want to change today. And so I'm going to make that happen. I'm going to release the power that lies outside of me, the external things needing to change, or, oh, I've got a surgery coming up, or I'm retiring, or, I got to get through this one busy cycle at my work, or I got to get the kids situated first before I, right? That is giving your power away and making external things line up for you to change your relationship with alcohol. And that's just not how it works, right? It needs the permanent changes, and being intentional needs to come from you. I am deciding to do this regardless of, right? And then doing that internal work to make it so. All right, my friends, I love you so much. I believe in you. I'm rooting for you. For those of you that are doing Sober October, we've got 10 more days, which is a lot of time. So I don't care how many slip-ups you've had this month, or if you've been great all month, you've still got 10 more days to stay focused and intentional. One day at a time. Figure out the obstacles in front of you on this given day. Keep going. Keep honoring yourself. And we will all come back together again at the end of October and celebrate for people who did this challenge, who showed up, did the internal work, and decided intentionally that they were going to make some changes with their drinking for themselves. So I'm super excited about wrapping that up inside of Live AF. And then we've got some fun things happening inside the membership after that. I am starting a track inside Alive AF for people who want to be alcohol free, and that is their goal. And then we have a separate track of people who are still figuring out their relationship with alcohol and they're still making drink plans. So the membership is currently closed, but you can get on the wait list if you want to. I'll put that link in the show notes for when that opens up again. And in the meantime, people inside Alive AF get excited about what's coming and how we can support you no matter what your goals are with alcohol. And then also keep getting excited about my big reveal of the big bold move that is happening. That's probably going to be shared in the next 10 days-ish or so. All right, my friends, I hope you have a beautiful week and we'll talk to you next week. Bye.